Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie. I still have so many books to read on my January TBR, and it is January 26th. And Crescent City Book 3 comes out on the 30th. All I care about on the last 2 days of the month is gonna be that book. So I have today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to read all these. These are all the books I was hoping to finish. Meanwhile, I've already read 10 books, but more than half of them weren't even on my TBR. So like, what am I doing? I'm also the kind of person that the farther we get into a month, the more I want to abandon ship off my TBR. Like, I'm tired of it. So it's gonna take some willpower, but I need to prioritize these because I think most I'd be able to read 4 books. I picked this for a new release day reaction, so I'm definitely gonna fit that in this vlog. I've been really looking forward to that one, so it's not even gonna be a chore. I also picked 2 books from prior TBR videos, and I really wanna make an effort to read those 2 books every month because otherwise my books will never get read. So I have to read Night Shift and Memorial. I feel like these are gonna be good, at least a 4-star. And I do have access to the audiobooks. So these 2 I think are definitely gonna get read. And then I am going to be part of, oh my gosh, this looks so good with my shirt today, the Big Bad Booty Bitches book club discussion for this. I think it's going to be on February 3rd. So I should probably read this book. It's just so delicious. Okay, that was easier than I thought. I have 4 books I'm for sure gonna read in this video. And if for some reason I can't finish them or don't wanna finish them, or I finish them early, I have all these other options. So wish me luck. First things first, I need some supplies. Okay, I got some chips and I got 3 Monster energy drinks. I'm scared because I hate energy drinks, but I need some goddamn energy. So I picked the ones that sounded the most sugary and therefore I'd probably like them more. I got Aussie lemonade. Am I allowed to say Aussie? I feel like that's a thing where you have to be invited to be able to say Aussie instead of Aussie. I'm gonna shut up. And then I got 2 different types of punch. I got Pacific Punch and Pipeline Punch. Ooh. I am actually currently drinking a peace tea though. Also, I got this shirt from Target, walked out. This thing's still on it. How do I get this off? Do any of you know? It's not happening for me. All right, I'm a little over halfway through Memorial. I've been listening to the audiobook. Also interesting, because I've been listening to the audiobook, I'm looking at the dialogue here. There's no quotation marks. I'm kind of sad I'm missing out on that. Also, oh my gosh, there's pictures. I am missing out, my God. Anyway, I'm liking it. I feel like it's a perfect book to listen to while you're doing other shit. It's very comfy that way, but it's like someone is telling you a story, like someone is gossiping with you. This book follows 2 men, Benson and Mike. They are a couple. They've been dating for 4 years and things are kind of fizzling out, but they still deeply care about each other. They are in 2 separate places. They live in Texas, but Mike's dad is sick in Japan, so Mike leaves. But his mother comes and stays in Texas. Benson is kind of being awkward because he's a black dude and she's this Japanese lady. He's not even sure that she speaks English at first. And at first you think it's gonna be weird, but they're actually kind of cute. They're like this little duo that don't really want each other around, but they're all each other has. And they cook together. She's teaching him how to cook and he's talking about his job. He's like a daycare person. You just get really close to him. He talks about their relationship and how they met. And then we switch to Mike's point of view. We get how they met through his point of view, and it is a little different, but also you get to see him seeing his dad for the first time in a decade because both of their dads are pieces of shit, but then they also have relationships with their dads now that they're both kind of old and dying. And also Mike is in Japan, which he hasn't been in a long time, so he feels a little weird about that, like being an American, but also this place in Japan is also his home. So a lot of different conversations we're having. I don't know how it's gonna end, but it's going to be okay. It's one of those books where it's like, even if things suck, it's gonna be okay. You know, that's kind of nice. I am kind of sad for Benson and Mike because they just don't seem happy together. So if they break up, it's not gonna be the worst thing. But also I don't want them to break up. It's a weird kind of situation. I'm having fun. I'm listening. I'm painting. Let me show you what I've done so far. This is where we're at. Looks like a mess. But you see some outlines of some flowers. I like to do the background stuff first because then the flowers, if I go out of line, it's okay. And then sometimes whenever you get paint by number stuff, it's really geometric and like pixelated because it's not actually made for painting, you know? It's like an image that they tried to make into a painting. So I always want to finish with the pretty colors last so that I can like make my own sort of details to it. I say always, I've done this like 4 times. Anyway, I'm about to chow down to some Cheetos, but I am having trouble forcing myself to drink a Monster. I just know I'm gonna hate it. Why don't I try one? I'll try one. All right, Grant said to try this one. This is Pipeline Punch. Let's go. Okay, it doesn't smell awful. Oh, definitely not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. It's kind of sweet. It's very, very sweet. Do you wanna try it? Okay, I actually really, really like this. I feel like it doesn't go with Cheetos though. You don't care, I'm gonna go. All right, it's been another couple hours and I have finished a book. I finished Memorial. Very good, very good. Again, a perfect audiobook to listen to when you're just doing shit. I thought it was really sweet and it really captured nuanced relationships and it kept things really positive even though there was like death and sort of falling out of love. But like somehow you're like, oh, nice. I feel like there is a chance that other people will be really emotionally hit by this. If you were close with your parents, even if it was just when you were little, I think you could get a lot of like, oh my gosh, nostalgia, but also the sort of grief of your parents getting older and you thinking about the good and the bad that's happened in your relationship. It really didn't hit with me because I don't really have relationships with my parents or the people who raised me. So it is kind of interesting how I perceived it. Like I was just very sort of detached from it because like not relating, but it also made it more happy. Whereas I feel like some people might read this and be really sad. So I don't know. I kind of like that I was happy reading it though, because I was just, you know, listening to my little book, painting my little picture. I just have been working on the green. It looks really cool with like the negative space. Look at that. I just can't wait to get to the fun colors in this. So I am going to continue. I am floating between a 3.5 and a 4 because again I was missing some sort of emotional punch, but like that's not the book's fault. It's like my fault for not caring about my parents. Ooh. So I'm gonna have to think on it. I don't know if I'll have an opinion by the end of the video or in my monthly wrap up, which is coming up quick. Oh my gosh. Okay, so of the 4 priority books, I've tackled one, which feels great. It's 9:30. I feel very energetic. Thank you, Monster. Babe, put your headphone back on. I hate it when he listens to me. Of the 3 left, I only have one on Libby, so this is gonna be my next read. This is a fiction book. I think it might lean towards a psychological thriller about a woman who's obsessed with another woman. Sounds great. All right, I need to take a break because my neck, my back, my and my crack are sore. I get so obsessive when I do paint by numbers or Legos or puzzles or things like that. I want to finish like all in one night, but no, that's not happening. I got to page 79 of Night Shift and I'm liking it. I really like the audiobook, but I think I'm going to read a little bit physically because my headphones that I'm wearing kind of hurt my ears. Our main character did indeed meet this girl that she works with. Her name's Sabine, and she quickly grows obsessed with her, like instantaneous, which is just so fun to read. Like she snoops through her stuff, she wears her necklace, there are baby pictures up of the workers, and she like switches their pictures so that Sabine's picture is on her name and her, it's kind of weird. Love to see it. And then Sabine one day is like, oh, I'm changing to night shifts. Our main character, Maggie, is like, oh, me too. So now she's working these night shifts even though her boyfriend hates it. Maggie, our main character, is wondering if she's a lesbian, so she's trying some stuff out. That's what's happening right now. And so it's just fun. It's gonna get chaotic. I can feel that energy coming a mile a minute. A minute a mile? It's late. I'm sorry. I'm gonna eat some Cheetos, which is like not good while you're reading a book because your fingers are gonna get all gross. But I'm gonna be very careful. Don't you worry. No, I got Cheeto dust on my fuck. Welcome to Saturday. I just finished night shift. And again, it's somewhere between like a 3.5 and a 4. I do feel like I got more intrigue and more of an emotional punch because this is kind of a story about two characters that are so lonely that they go to great lengths to be obsessed with other people, but it's not about another person. It's really just about themselves. And I don't know how to better explain that, but some of you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. It was haunting in a scary psychological way, but it wasn't scary. It wasn't a thriller. It was a very good audiobook. I also read some in the book, and I was still very engaged. So just a nice book, and I believe this was the author's debut novel, so I wonder what's on their radar next. I love stories about women being obsessed with other women. I think Alison De Laurentiis did this to me.
I know you want to kiss me.
And I really see her character in Sabine. So yeah, vibes are sad, lonely, desperate girl. It's literally a vibe. It's a vibe, okay? I will say that there were parts of this that were kind of stressful, and it reminded me of this sort of feeling I got from this book, which I had to DNF because I was so stressed out and annoyed with the main character. This I somehow was able to take because it was kind of told in a separated voice. Our main character is actually middle-aged when she's telling us all of this stuff, so it was kind of chill because we know she's alive. Obviously, things couldn't have gone that bad. So yeah, an interesting book. I think I'm gonna give it a 4. I finally finished the darker greens and I got to some brighter greens. I want to keep going, but I don't have the audiobooks of my last 2 on my priority list. So I'm gonna suck it up and just read my book, give my neck a break. I think I'll go with Maeve Fly though, because I've just read 2 general fictions. I need something a little... My neighbor's right outside the window looking, and I think he can see my camera. This is a way different vibe I'm feeling. I hear it's really crazy. I don't know if that means gory or just wild and weird. I'm just gonna jump in. I don't think I've ever read the first sentence, so let me do it with you. Chapter 1. Every man shares the same fantasy, and it is this. He will marry a universally beloved sweetheart. I'm gonna keep going because I'm curious. Live a noble life and succeed in all the ways his father taught were best, and when he stands at the pinnacle of filial and paternal achievement, when he has finally reached the great height of goodness, honor, and inarguable virility, then and only then his wife, child, and pet should be ripped from him, violently, unforgivably, restoring ultimately freedom. That is a depressing thought. Oh my god. Kind of makes sense why people love John Wick so much. Oh, I can't tell if I like it or hate it. Ooh, I think I like it. All right, I'm a little over halfway. I'm on page 158, and LOL. I got 60 pages in just reading regularly, and then I was like, I want to paint my picture. So I got the audiobook, and I'm loving it. This narrator is so good because she sounds like she's from California. I love it. Let me get my painting to show you my progress. We're still doing green, but we're getting different types of green, so that's good. I don't want to go into too much detail on this because we are going to be discussing it in the BBBB book club on February 3rd. I will put what is that noise? I'll put Aaliyah's information down below. I was gonna say downstairs, sorry. The live's gonna be on her channel. I'm so excited to talk with everyone about this. It's so funny because it's sort of giving dark romance. I don't think it's gonna be a happily ever after. I feel like these two are gonna kill each other, but I was not expecting that. And I really like how it's written. So that's all I'm gonna share right now. All right, excuse me for looking like Lord Farquaad, but I just finished Maeve Fly. Oh, wow. My instant thought is that this is 5 stars and that it's like the best love story I've read in a while. And this went absolutely wild. It felt really like Black Swan in a way, but like I also wanted to cry at the end. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Ooh, I really like this one. Spicy! All right, I'm halfway through Interesting Facts About Space, and it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's very slice of life. There are LOL moments. There are also introspective moments into this main character's psyche, and also little snippets of her past. She's got a lot of things going on, just like the synopsis says. The synopsis mentions that she has a fear of bald men, and I thought that was just going to be a one-time like occurrence, just like a comedic thing, but no, like she is terrified of bald men. And the first time you hear about it is in chapter 1. She's listening to a podcast. She's obsessed with true crime. And she's like listening to the whole thing. It's telling us about it. She's going about her day. And then they mention something about the guy being bald. And she just has like a visceral reaction and she changes what she's doing immediately. She like rips her headphones out because she's like that terrified of them. And so at first it was funny, okay? But I feel like it's actually something traumatic happened with a bald dude. Because every time she sees a bald guy, she smells like smoke. And there are memories from her teenage life that she can't even remember. And I don't know if I'm just trying to make shit up, but I feel like something happened with the bald dude. We also see her dating women, and some of the situations she finds herself in, very LOL. The other aspect we're delving into is her family history. Her dad left when she was little. Her mom seems to be suffering with depression, but she's very close to her mom, and she'll just text her interesting facts about space. But she also has half siblings that she didn't meet till like 2 years ago, and they seem nice. Our main character, though, she's kind of bugging me when she talks about them, or at least in the beginning. She kept saying things like they never deal with bad days, like they would never think the weird things that I'm thinking. And I really hope at one point our main character is going to realize that like a lot of people are struggling. Most people are struggling. I do feel like the author is going to have her learn that lesson, so that's good, because otherwise it's actually going to bug me, I think. So yeah, just enjoying myself. It's chill, it's funny, it's probably going to be a little sad. Exactly what I was expecting and wanting. I do feel like this would make such a great audiobook though, and I'm kind of sad I can't get my hands on it because this isn't out until the 30th. Also, I'm in a weird mood because I had the Sunday scaries. I have to work in the morning, but then I have to go to the dentist. So I'm a little nervous about that. Okay, I just finished Interesting Facts About Space, and I'm exhausted. I don't know if it's just because I've been listening to audiobooks and I'm spoiled because I've just been wanting to paint. I don't think that's it, because there were times where I was really, actually most of this book I was really invested and closely. I wasn't like losing concentration or interest. I think it's just the fact that this is depressing, but it feels like, I'm sorry if this sounds insensitive, but it was trying to make us feel depressed, and it's like such a weird thing because there are so many books where obviously authors are trying to evoke emotion, you know, but I don't know, it was just really heavy-handed. And I think maybe I'm just annoyed because there were some scenes in here where she was in her therapist's office and it was in real time, and that just stresses me out just from like personal shit in my life. And so it was really stressful and not in a fun way for me. Again, I think this is all just personal, but then there was like a lot of explanation, and it was over explanation of things we already knew that I don't think should have been repeated. Like our character found some things out or realized something that we learned with her in the moment, and then she would explain it to someone else, and it's like, oh my god, like we get it. And I don't know if I'm just being rude. I also feel weird about this sort of giving a mystery thriller sort of vibe for a little bit. I don't know. I feel weird about this because I love Emily Austen's writing. I liked being in this character's narration. I felt really invested in all her relationships and all of her reactions and all of her idiosyncrasies and her, you know, healing and figuring things out. But I don't know. I just don't know if I like this. I feel really uneasy right now. When I finished Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead, even though there were depressing parts in this, I felt a little more uplifted, and I just don't feel like that right now. And I also felt really frustrated and kind of of like, okay, can we finish this? Which I wasn't expecting to feel. And again, I feel really bad about this and I'd like to move on. That being said, I have now finished my priority TBR that I plan to finish in this video. So that's awesome. Hi, it's Monday evening. I'm in a mood because I already filmed this a few hours ago and my file was corrupt. So let's try this again. Tonight's just been shitty because my whole dental journey is just taking a complete dive off a cliff. It's a whole insurance thing. I'm so sick of it. And it's like, damn, I'm really just trying to do something good for myself. And I've been really diligent. And despite getting hurdles and hurdles and hurdles, I've been really like, okay, I'm gonna try. And then I just found out that my insurance isn't even accepted anywhere on this island. So I'm freaking out, but I don't want to let it ruin this video because I had such a good weekend and I have tomorrow off and I get Crescent City in just a couple hours. So let's get out of it. I was gonna try to listen to another audiobook during work, but I ended up listening to a bunch of plot breakdowns of Crescent City and Akatar in preparation for tonight. So yeah, that didn't happen. But still, 4 books for 10 interesting facts about spaces right here in one weekend. That's like unheard of. That's amazing. I'm very proud of myself, especially because I could have so easily put these off and probably only read 2 of them by the end of the month. And thank you, because I feel like the only reason I ended up doing it was the challenge of this video. So thanks. It was very successful. I had all positive ratings. I had 1 3-star, which is still a good rating. I had 2 4-stars, and I finished 2 books I've had on my shelves for a while. And I got a 5-star, which is just amazing. I wasn't expecting that. I think I'll start doing these sorts of vlogs at the end of every month because I do get really petulant, I guess you could say, about finishing my TBR when it comes to the last few days of the month. And yeah, like I said, this really helped, and hopefully it could help me in the future. Obviously, let me know if you've read any of these books, and I'll see you later. Goodbye. Let's hope this footage works.